Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. So last episode, among other things, we built up a new freight hub around Spokane to feed our goods around the Spokane, New York area, while reducing some of the congestion on Dayton, which was really starting to pile up a little bit. And we're going to start off in the same area. Something I did miss out on in the last episode was this tool factory at Spokane. At the moment, it is running trains down to Dayton, which isn't really what we need to be doing now. We do have a hub station over here that can accept those. So what we're going to do is switch that over to a road-based service that will just pop over there and drop off at Spokane's sidings. So this should be a nice, easy one. Shouldn't be requiring too much in terms of infrastructure or anything like that. And we should be pretty much good to link this one up here. We can build a new country road and pretty much hook up right at our truck station here. And what we can even do to make things a little bit easier, we could punch this through here and delete these bits of road. They're not necessary. I think this will still connect up as is on both counts. Yes, it will. So we'll just get rid of the additional little bit of road we've got there. All right, so I'm just going to create a new line. Nice, simple one. This will be Spokane Tools. And we'll get some new trucks purchased. Which I think we might go with 20 and see how we go with that at this point. And then pretty much once our trains unload that are running on our tools line, they can be basically sent back and essentially we can reuse them on other lines, things like that. Apparently you can't find a way to get where you want to go. That's okay though. Now, towards the end of the last episode, I did mention wanting to do something with our passenger trains. I didn't end up getting around to it. So I wanted to sort of start off, amongst other things, obviously, with looking at our Peoria to Roseville via New York line. And we're seeing traffic is stacking up a little bit. As you can see, we've got 375 wanting to go to New York, 187 wanting to go to Spokane, 272 from Roseville, which I believe we've just had like 2 trains come and go. And even Spokane, yeah, you can see piling up a fair bit. I think Laredo and Perry will probably be a little bit lesser, though no, not really. They've still got, quite a few waiting in it. As you can see, we're starting to see some congestion problems at some of these stations as well. So I wanted to take the opportunity to upgrade our services here and get some double-decker or bi-levels, you might call them, in the US onto this line. So at the moment we have 5 trains running on these lines. We've got a frequency of 10 minutes, which is okay. Could be better, but it is a bit of a regional line, so we probably don't want to increase the frequency too much. All of these vehicles are starting to get a little bit old. They're, 21 years old. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the opportunity to refresh these and, get some bi-levels running on this line. Now, we don't have any new diesel trains to actually add to these. So what we might do instead is leave our existing trains running. I'm sure we can get a bit more use out of them, and instead we will just replace the passenger cars running. I thought we actually had some like second generation type superliner cars in our mod set, but apparently I'm wrong about that because we don't appear to have any. But that's okay. We'll use some of our, I guess, more sort of regular superliner type coaches. And as you can see, we probably actually do need to boost the power on these as well, because the single P42 probably isn't quite doing it. The problem is that we don't have a reversed option available, which does make it difficult to, I guess, get in there. But we could just have two facing forwards. I don't necessarily think that's the end of the world. It would be good if we could reverse them, though. I am purchasing one too many of these, I believe. No, actually, no, we're all good. And yeah, just going to replace all of our single level cars with bi-levels / double deckers, or however you call them wherever you are. And we should see a significant increase. We actually don't see a significant increase in capacity at all. It's actually much the same. So, but that's okay. We might get an additional 2 running. And I think that should be pretty decent. I'll actually create up a new one because I will just use our regular Amtrak livery on both the P42s rather than using the Saluting Our Veterans, which no problem with the livery itself. It just probably would have been a limited time one, and we're not printing or producing locomotives with that on there anymore. So we might get 2 of those into service. Now Peoria to Roseville via New York line. Now I was just popping by Richmond here, and I can see that our motorway between Dayton and Richmond is now, looking pretty good. Traffic is, there's a fair bit of traffic, but it's flowing pretty smoothly. No real backups on either end, although there are a few backups of people that are coming through the town to jump onto the motorway. Over at Richmond, or the other end of it, things aren't looking great still. I was hoping, because we did add an additional, crossing of the rail line in here. We were hoping, I think, that did improve the situation somewhat, but unfortunately not. Things are still looking, pretty backed up, but quite a long way. I think it was worse before though, so I think we're looking okay. Oh wow, okay, that's not good. What about over here? Over here, this is cleared a fair bit as well, though. Once again, we've got traffic going towards Everett that is looking fantastic. In fact, it looks as though a lot of people have abandoned the motorways in lieu of just driving through towns. That's not exactly what we wanted at all, to be honest. It's not good. But I did want to have a little bit of a look at a tool I've obtained, to hopefully improve our motorways moving forward. So I did say I was after a parallel road tool. As it turned out, I actually did have one installed, but it wasn't working anymore. So I was suggested the parallel tool, I think it's called. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, parallel tool, which seems to be fairly simple in terms of how to make it work. So what we're going to do, we will expand our motorway through to Santa Rosa, so we can hopefully utilize that new tool to make it a little bit easier, a little bit quicker to build, and overall, just a bit better than it was before. So we're going to start by building just the one direction. We're not going to build both at this point. And I think we might even try and see if we can get an additional junction on here around sort of the back of Peoria from where we were before, or I guess where the other one was / is. We will do a little bit of deleting. We're going to, I guess, prune this side of the town just a little bit, which there's not much growth happening anyway, so I think it's okay. We're not going to really impact it too much. We will have it come down and run reasonably parallel to our existing highway. As you can see, there are backups there, and we will probably, in fact, get rid of this section and have it completely replaced by this new motorway. And that is actually a pretty important connection, I think. So we might have that remain as our junction point. Traffic will go into Santa Rosa that way, and then we'll be looking to, I guess, curve around and potentially finalize this motorway at LA. All right, now, if I've built this correctly, or if I've downloaded the mod correctly, I should really say, we should be able to pretty much build a parallel motorway here, or parallel road. So just need to work out how to do that. As I suspected, I hadn't actually enabled the the tool. So here we go. Okay. So we should be able to direction pre-selection. Now, I believe if we go backwards, I think it will lay. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And we'll probably lay it up to here so it'll join up with the... Oops. Oh no, cool. All right. And so now we grab the parallel road tool here. And we're going to use copy because it'll be the same. And do we want it the... center distance left? Should that be okay? Collision. Oh, okay. Probably here is going to be that collision, actually. So we might just pause. And let's try again. I'm assuming we've still got those markers. Apparently not. We might just lay them down again. And let's try doing this one as well. Collision. Okay. We might remove some of these bits of road here and see if we can fix that collision by doing that. Or do we need to increase the spacing potentially? Okay, we got one bit. Okay, all right. Okay, I've worked it out. So you left click to place it down and you have to right click to end it. So now, will this work? I've pressed it. It's not complaining yet. It's not doing anything yet. Oh, there we go. It's laid down. And look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So we need to rejoin some roads and we need to finish this stuff up, obviously. But yeah, that's really nice looking. It's laid in the same direction, unfortunately, which means we are going to need to go through and fix it. That's probably my mistake. There was probably an option to select, but I sort of too long didn't read it a little bit to it. But that's fine. We can just quickly fix that up now. It shouldn't take too long. All right, so the motorway is laid down. We just need to build our junction. So we will have a junction here that will lead into Santa Rosa, and we'll also have one on this side of Peoria as well. We might just have a bridge over the top, a nice simple one. And looking at, I believe this road here should be our primary movement. Okay, and just need our ramps now. All right, and I'll just change this one into a 2-lane road rather than a 4-lane as well. Perfect, and that should make everything flow pretty good from that point of view. And we just need to fix this one up here as well. All right, everyone's a little bit more happy now. That is good. So we'll unpause. And yeah, we've replaced that old sort of windy, sprawling country road with a fantastic new motorway, which is also parallel and good looking. So that is, yeah, really good to see. Happy with, happy with how that mod works. We'll also want to build the other side of this junction as well, which, yeah, is going to be a little bit tricky, but I think it should be overall not too bad. I say that now, but I probably do want to actually take it back a little bit and switch over to two-lane pieces like so. So there's not that absolutely crazy. And I've built them in the wrong direction, as I do from time to time. So there's not that absolute crazy, like 4 different roads just joining up together, which is probably going to mess with things a little bit, I would say. Okay, that's actually a pretty nice connection there. That's probably one of the better ones I've made. We will upgrade this section of road to a 4-lane. Could actually probably join it up all the way through, couldn't we? Which is what it's asking to do. Yeah, actually, no, that's fine. Yeah, of course we want to do that. And I want to see, once again, we will actually upgrade this to a 3-lane. That's just because of the weirdness of the game. We can't determine that both of the lanes have to go through here. It'll always be wanting to send one back around. So if we add 3-lane, it's in, at least it gives them 2 full lanes to make the connection through, I guess we could say. All right, next I'll connect up to our existing ramp and we'll add our new one in. Have a break off here. We can try and get it up fairly quickly. As we know, we want this to go over the top of the existing ramp, and I think we should be able to do that from where we are. Oh, it's actually going to be a little bit trickier than I thought it would be, to be honest. I think we should still be fine. And let's see, can we get around? It's really not wanting to, is it? I mean, it is clearing it. There's absolutely clearance there. Might not be the best clearance, but it's definitely clearing. We could potentially lower this section a little bit to be able to I guess, clear in the opposite direction, shall we say, going down a little bit. But we should be able to get this connection made pretty easily. Oh, actually, I didn't want to do that. I need you to still be a bridge piece. So my bad. So we need to try and get underneath this, which I think we should be able to do. So it is, yeah, it is connecting up fine, or will connect up fine anyway. Ah. Didn't mean to build anyway. So there we go. All right, that connection's made. And the remaining one's a lot easier because it's just a little connection like this. Perfect. So we've got all the connections we need. This is a little bit untidier than the than the last one, but it's all right. It's fine. It works. I'm going to take the opportunity now as well to do a few more replacements. Now we've got a lot of these E44s. These are venerable engines, 51 years old. These were out of service a long time ago in real life, but I guess we've just sort of hung on to them at this point in time, but a decision's been made that electricity prices are too high to, I guess, to really justify having these electric freight locomotives running. So we are going to go through and replace them all with diesel. I think this should be pretty simple. These are just a few lines, really, mostly on the corridor around sort of Flint, San Francisco type thing, and we should be able to fairly easily switch these over to diesel traction. With our San Francisco freight shuttle, I'm actually going to get 2 down. So that is a bye-bye to electric freight, and we now have a little bit of, I think a bit of a job to do pulling down some lines. And now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pull down some of our overheads over the sections of our track that are no longer covered by electric. So this will be a little bit of a maintenance saving for us. So we're just going to go through and do that. Lovely. So we've done a bit of, I guess, optimization on the network in terms of reducing our maintenance costs. And we've done that by pulling out a fair bit of the overheads on our old freight lines that are no longer serviced by electric freight. All right, for our ride along today, we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to hop on our Wichita to San Francisco coal line. So this is a slower one. It's a bit more meandering and there's a fair bit of conflict. Regardless, hope you enjoy the trip. Well, here we are arriving at the end of the line, so we can unload some of that glorious, glorious coal. So obviously this is a bit of a random one. I wasn't entirely sure where I was going to do a ride along, and I'm glad I did this one because it gave me an opportunity to, I guess, see where we're not doing so well in the network. So I guess at this point of view, when I'm recording this, TBA how much of the sort of backups we were seeing actually end up in the end product, probably not that much. But this junction here is causing us headaches. And realistically, we don't really need it to be this sort of junction anymore. We can potentially have our coal trains run on their own set of tracks, and our remaining goods can also run on their own set of tracks. Obviously, that will increase our sort of track configuration through San Francisco to be 4 pairs, which is quite significant. But these lines here are actually really important ones, especially our coal and iron ore. And we've got plenty of capacity that we could take advantage of. And we can do that potentially by splitting off the rest of our freight. We might even potentially add an additional track for our fully laden coal and iron ore trains, which will put it up to, what, 9 tracks through San Francisco, but we'll see. I think that's what we'll work on next episode. But that's going to be about all we have time for in this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to all my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. A big shout out to my Founders Club patrons Caleb and Isaiah. Thank you so much to the two of you for helping to make this content possible. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.